Hello, I'm live. This is literally my third time live streaming. Hello, I'm live. Why is the quality of the audio so bad? My third time live streaming. God, I'm gonna kill myself. Why is the audio so bad? Audio input. Stop it. Okay, this should be good. This is it. I think. So it's supposed to be 1080p. Why is it not 1080p? Come on now. Oh shit. My bit rate is so bad. Fuck. Fucking going. I just love streaming. Okay. Banana tree. Hi, babe. Stop. It's not crunchy. I'm trying to figure if I go live, actually. So, alright. Alright. Okay, that's better. Okay. Alright, gotta hear this first. Alright. Alright, hey guys, how's it going? Why is my audio not working? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself. Guys, how's it going? Bro, I literally cannot hear the fucking video. Oh my god.
Back from the theaters seeing Barbie.
Come on now. Okay. God damn, I hate stream. Why is my
Yes,
audio
I'm watching
not
my live.
working? I'm checking something. I'm gonna kill myself. I don't know. The audio is not working. The audio is working like the... This is working. You can hear this. You can... Okay. This is crunchy as fuck. Oh my god. Fuck. Fuck me. Oh my god. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is ITC. Welcome everybody. Today we are gonna be reacting to Ben Shapiro, a video by him, a 42-minute long video about Barbie, about the Barbie movie. So allegedly he like roasts the Barbie movie and makes fun of it, and so we're just gonna make fun of him. I'm not cussing. So yeah, the Barbie movie was amazing. I want to go see it again. I want a Kennergy shirt. Anyways, let's go and watch this. Let's watch this stupid video. He's a failed screenwriter, by the way. Oh, come on now.
Well, folks, I just got back from the theaters seeing Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Oh,
I'm about to review both of them. I'm going to tell you which one.
By the way, Oppenheimer, don't waste your time. I literally wanted to go to sleep after the first hour. After the first hour, I wanted to leave. I wanted to get up and leave. So bad it was. I mean, if you're a nerd like that, if you're a history nerd, go watch it. I'm never gonna watch it again. Maybe I'll watch it again to probably fall asleep. So that's it. Oh my God.
One of these is the best blockbuster of 2023, and which one is maybe the worst?
I bet he loved our movie, right, Ken?
For those of you who can't wait that long, I'm going to give my review of the Barbie movie.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to leave, but we paid money for it. Can't leave a movie you paid money for unless you get a refund. We should have got a refund, actually.
Movie in the most Oppenheimer fashion.
Wow.
What the Run.
Nice. And this grown-ass man is lighting Barbie dolls on fire at a children's park. He's at a children's park.
Fashion.
Or is that his apartment now?
What the
Actually.
Run.
This is a quarter of his Barbie collection he is burning, so I know this hurts him. He put a tribe reference? When?
So the things I do for my audience, my producers dragged me to go see Barbie movie.
Oh, so bad. I had to go freaking drag myself to go see the freaking Barbie movie. Look at this man. What the... Bro looks like a freaking Oompa Loompa. Oh, shit. I should have not done 4K. Dressed in all black. Yeah, zero style whatsoever. Like, look at Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling compared to Ben Shapiro. His eyebrows are as big as his pecs.
Barbie the movie. And
the Barbie movie,
I
by
have
the way.
thoughts. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Let me
Not him putting a sponsored ExpressVPN in the middle, because yeah, he needs it.
begin with my generalized assessment of the movie.
Oh yeah, he is dressed like when he's. Oh no! Debate. Stop it. Where's like the full version? Where's like the full version? It's not out. Oh. Oh no, it's gotta be in here. Right here. Oh, I'm gonna get copyright striked, man. Tell me that's not the same person. Bro, he literally dressed for the part.
Barbie movie.
He
Barbie,
literally
the
dressed
movie.
for the part. They have denim jackets, don't they?
I have thoughts. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
Let's know your thoughts.
Let me begin
Ben.
with my generalized assessment of the movie. This movie is not just a piece of shit. This movie is a flaming piece of dog shit piled atop an entire dumpster on fire, piled atop a landfill filled with dog shit.
That's what I thought when I watched Oppenheimer. Again, this is a review coming from a failed screenwriter, by the way.
It is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. On every possible level, it is a horrific movie.
The movie theater is sold out, and it's still sold out.
The only thing that can be said for this film is production design. Production design is really nice. The costumes are really nice. The only thing that can be said for this film is production design. Production design is really nice.
This movie is freaking horrible. It's the worst movie I've ever seen, but you know what? Production design, pretty good. Top tier.
Costumes are really nice. Also, it's really hard to screw that up. It's really hard to screw that up because you literally have this to model after.
I mean, it's a lot. The screen writing in his Apple notebook.
All you have to do is this, but big. Okay, it's really not tough. But put aside all of the beautiful costumes, which is there for the ladies, and all of the production design and the Barbie universe and all of that. Every joke that happens in this film happens basically within the first 45 seconds of the film. So for
not true.
example, Barbie turns
Establishment. They're establishing how the Barbie universe is in this movie, but he doesn't get that.
there's no actual water. Do you get it? And then she drinks, but there's no actual liquid in the actual cup. Oh my God, because she's a Barbie doll. Oh, I get it. Okay, that's all the jokes. There are no more jokes for the rest of the film. The movie's a show.
I mean, there's literally jokes the whole way through. It's a comedy movie. There's jokes the whole way through the movie.
Okay, so conceptually, the movie is a show. I want to ask this. Who's the intended audience for this film? Who's the intended audience for this film? So I'll tell you who the intended audience for this film is. And I can tell two ways. One, the previews on the film, and two, the people in the audience. So the intended audience for this film is moms and their 8-year-old daughters.
Not true. Not just 8-year-olds and moms. What are you talking about? Bro, I literally was there the first day it came out on Wednesday. 2 days before it initially released. I was there. And guess what? The theater was packed full of people. I don't get what this guy's saying. I don't get. And we're 2 minutes.
That's the intended audience for the film. I know because the previews for the film were all kids' movies. I'm talking like G or PG rated kids' films. We're talking like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Trolls 4 or whatever it is.
Does he not know that like different theaters have different commercials? Come on, now he can't be that stupid. I didn't see the Trolls. I didn't see that. I saw the Trolls trailer for Spider-Man. Bro, I saw the Exorcist trailer.
Those were all the previews, right? All the previews are actually directed at what the audience is supposed to be for this film. No. And if you look in the audience, it's a bunch of moms, like youngish moms, middle-aged moms, with their like 6, 7, 8-year-old girls.
Bro, I saw teenagers.
Crew. This movie is not.
I saw 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds. I saw teens and young adults there. Just 8-year-olds and moms. Jesus Christ.
Not made for any of those people. In fact, this movie is made for no one. This movie is going to make a bunch.
Bro, I freaking literally saw this movie. How is it made for no one? And guess what? The theaters are still sold out.
This movie is not made for any of those people. In fact, this movie is made for no one. This movie is going to make a bunch of money week one because the marketing effort has been extraordinary. I mean, whoever's the marketing team over at Warner Brothers is doing an amazing job. Week one, this thing is going to clean up at the domestic box office. My prediction is going to just absolutely fall off a cliff after that. The repeat business on this movie is going to be non-existent because it was written by two people who are so...
So... He says this movie is gonna do dog crap after the dollars within his full release. I don't get what he's talking about. Coming from a man that doesn't know anything about films, I guess, because he's a failed screenwriter.
After that, the repeat business on this movie is going to be non-existent.
But let's target the female
by two people
director
who are so smug and self-satisfied.
And the director that literally directed Marriage Story. Didn't someone win an Oscar from that movie?
And Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, that they have no audience. I mean, like, who thought it's a great idea? Let's bring on the people who wrote Lady Bird and Marriage Story.
Marriage Story was so good. So good. Literally so good. I don't understand how we can say, oh, let's got Marriage Story. It says from Academy Award nominee Noah Baumbach. I don't know why I said that.
To make a movie about a plastic doll that is generally played with by
plastic, by the way. She's
5 to 9-year-old young girls.
Yeah.
So the basic.
And if you don't know, if you haven't seen the Barbie movie, it's made for moms. The audience isn't for moms. I mean, it's made for moms in the sense of it's representing that your mom was a child once that played with dolls. The intended audience is for literally everyone. It's a fun movie. It's not action packed. It's adventurous. It's comedic. It's so funny. But let's go on, Ben.
Basic idea of the film. They really have no basic idea of the film. They don't know whether they hate Barbie or that we're supposed to kind of like Barbie. It seems they kind of despise Barbie as a fascist emblem, as we'll get to. The basic.
No. No, we love Barbie. What are you talking about? The movie doesn't represent us hating Barbie because she's a fascist. God, this guy does not have fun.
Sort of premise of the film, politically speaking, is that men and women are on two sides of a divide, and they hate each other. And literally, the only way you can have a happy world.
This is the news that the right side is making up, that this woke film is basically saying that like men should not rule the world. I guess that's what they're saying. But let's
Men and women are on two sides of a divide, and they hate each other. And literally, the only way you can have a happy world is if the women ignore the men and the men ignore the women. That seems to be the final outcome of this film.
No, it's not. This guy, I don't believe this guy saw the movie, because that's not how it is. That's not how it is. I don't want to spoil the movie, but like, come on now, do your research.
It's trying to separate this into problems with plot and problems with character and problems with the politics of the film, but they're all intertwined because the thing is just a mess. It doesn't make any sense.
It's not a mess.
Plot-wise, it makes no sense.
It's a good story.
Character-wise, it makes no sense. So let's just go through it from the beginning. There's going to be lots of spoilers, but believe you me, I'm about to save you so much time.
He's going to save us so much time in a 40-minute long video. That's half the time of the movie. What do you mean save us time? I mean, you can see the movie twice. I mean, you can see this. We can watch this video twice within the one time you watch it. I don't want people to be mad. Don't want people to be mad at me spoiling this, so watch at your own risk. And also, okay, so since this is spoilers, so Ken, aka Ryan Gosling, goes to the real world with Barbie, and he sees that like, oh, big corporations are ran by only men. They're in power. Horses. America. And he goes back to the Barbie world without Barbie, and then he teaches that to the Kens there, and then they get brainwashed, and like Ken's rule. Ben Shapiros an idiot? Yeah, I agree.
Because this movie is 2 hours. It feels like it is longer than the Wagnerian Ring.
It's an hour and 45 minutes.
Every scene is at least 2 minutes too long. Every single scene, every beat is 2 minutes too long. It is a bad film.
This guy did not see the movie. This guy didn't see the movie. But you watched Oppenheimer? Bro stares at the freaking lake for 5 minutes talking to Albert Einstein. But that in a courtroom for 2 hours. That's what Oppenheimer is. In a courtroom and in an interrogation room for 2 hours. There's one scene with the nuke. And that's within the hour. One scene with the nuke in Oppenheimer. The rest could have been deleted. It's my opinion. To each his own.
Aside the politics, like really, I was sitting there with a bunch of my producers. I'm a little bit more political than my producers. My producers were watching this, putting the politics aside. It is a bad movie. So why is it getting 91% on Rotten Tomatoes? Because
it's a good movie. It's a bad movie. Bad movie. Why is it getting 91%? Because it's a bad movie. What? That doesn't make sense.
The way that it works for the reviewers is if you have the right politics, and those politics are sufficiently slyly inserted, then it will get a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, even if the thing is just dreck.
So you're saying Rotten Tomatoes is like left-wing agenda corporation? Bro, it's ran by... What's it ran by? Fandango's ran by... I mean, Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes ran by something. But yeah, it's 91% because it's a good movie. What?
And I mean, boy, is this dreck. This is a Death Star sized piece of dreck. It is like, that's no moon. That's a dreck station. This movie. Okay, so let's jump into it. I have like pages and pages of notes on this horrific piece of I mean, my goodness. Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. So it's
I would love to be a man in my 40s making a 40-minute long video, writing in my notebook about how I hate a feminist movie. I want that, and I can never have that big of eyebrows. Or look at his eyebrows, freaking huge.
From the beginning, you know what this movie
Bigger than his
is going to
freaking
be.
mustache.
And it's going to be a very
It look way better, but he can't. He's not.
cynical take on what Barbie is, which is so weird. I don't know why Mattel would turn over its IP to filmmakers who clearly hate the IP. It's as though you were going to make Toy Story, except the
IP
toys
address?
are all evil. They're all bad, and you're supposed to hate.
No, that didn't happen. Is he talking about Barbie? Which actually happened and almost got the movie shut down. No, the movie didn't almost get shut down, and I don't know if he's talking about Toy Story because that was made by Disney. I don't think Disney would shut down a film that literally has like four movies. What is he talking about?
It's as though you were going to make Toy Story, except that toys are all evil. They're all bad, and you're supposed to hate them, and you should burn them.
What? That's what he's saying?
Because that's kind of the message of the film, is that
No,
the Barbies
they're
are
not
bad
evil.
for the
They're
world.
just
Okay, so
brainwashed because the real world is taken over by bad people. So, I mean, politically wise, yes. Business wise, yes. Because business wise, how many CEOs are women? It's just an example of how much males have in power with business and companies rather than a woman in power that has the same power. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
Begins by trying to uphold the original vision of Barbie. What was the original magical vision of Barbie? We have Helen Mirren here to tell us in the form of a narrator apparently played by Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who's speaking from heaven. And we get a 2001 A Space Odyssey flashback.
Gotta have the Ruth roast in that, of course. Bro, let her rest, bro. Come on now. You're getting hurt by someone that's dead.
Who's speaking from heaven. And we get a 2001 A Space Odyssey flashback.
He's asshole.
Which again, who's the audience for this? The reference points in this film.
I literally saw a dad that had a Space Odyssey shirt at the premiere. He was there. Gotta be in his 30s at least.
It references variously Marcel Proust. It references Robert Evans and the cinematography of The Godfather. It references 2001 A Space Odyssey.
Guess what? A lot of movies reference other movies too. It's not just Barbie. Come on. This guy's stupid.
This is a movie made for moms and their 7-year-old girls.
No, I watched it. I'm 22.
Well, folks, wasting 2 hours of my precious time.
22-year-old man.
I will never get back. 2 hours where on my deathbed, I will wish that I had not spent that time doing. Makes me viscerally angry. But I'm going to talk to you about
That's what I thought about Oppenheimer.
something that makes me much happier, and that is our trusted privacy partner and premier.
All right, gonna skip this ad. Talk about stupid ad.
Activity. You might be wondering, but not in the case of ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN is
Bro, how
trusted.
long is this?
Find out how Ben YT
A minute
explaining
long? Yeah, I think that ad could have been cut down 40 seconds.
that back in the day, girls would only play with dolls that looked like babies. And then she says that this could be fun, at least for a while anyway. Ask your mother, because your mother actually hates you and doesn't like being a mom, you see. So if you ask your mom, she wants to play at not being a mom.
Is he talking about his own mom? How his own mom treated him?
Sometimes. Okay, so the basic premise is Barbie is supposed to be the independent woman who liberates all womanhood, but she fails. And she fails for 2 reasons. 1, she's actually a tool of the patriarchal capitalist system. And 2, the real world has rejected the message of Barbie, which is that women should run everything. Okay, so this is all not implicit. This is explicitly said. At the beginning, the monologue, you have Helen Mirren saying, because Barbie can be anything.
It's not saying that women should be ruling everything. It should be that it's saying that women should have equal rights because women don't have equal rights.
Women can be anything. At least that's what the Barbies think. See, in the real world, women can't be anything. And that's one of the messages of the film. In the real world, men run pretty much everything, which is weird. Who greenlit this piece of shit? I mean, Greta Gerwig is a lady. She's making a good living off of this. Margot Robbie is playing the lead. In fact, the entire cast, aside from basically Ryan Gosling, is women. So it seems like women.
Bro, there's just as much women as there are men in this movie. It's not just women. He didn't see this movie. He had someone watch the movie for him and write an essay about it. He did that. He searched it on Fiverr. He said, go watch this movie and give me a video essay about it.
Women are doing okay. But again, put aside the meta logic of it. I'm going to go through like a lot of beats here. So it starts off with the idea that mommy dolls are bad and insufficient. But then they criticize Mattel for discontinuing a mommy doll named Midge. Right? Midge is the pregnant doll and it was discontinued. They're like,
no, they didn't make fun of Mattel for doing that.
That's bad. Wait, but hold on.
What?
Mommy dolls are bad and insufficient. But then they criticize Mattel for
They didn't criticize Mattel. It's like an inside joke. Oh, shit.
Continuing a mommy doll.
It's like an inside
Midge.
joke.
Right? Midge is the pregnant doll and it was discontinued.
Okay, I'm gonna stop
that's
pausing
bad.
it.
But then this one, don't look for any sort of logical
He's
coherence.
confusing me.
There's a Citizens United reference. They say all of the members of the Barbie Supreme Court are women.
Yeah.
And then they are speaking out about Citizens United, that corporations are not people. It's literally a Citizens United reference. Who is the audience for this? Who is the 7-year-old girl who's like, yes, I too have a very informed perspective
Again,
on the Citizens
30-year-old
United
man
decision.
was in
And then they say
there with
that logic and
us.
feeling.
My husband's
at the same
37
time,
years
it
old,
doesn't diminish
39
us.
years
It
old.
proves that we are more than. Right? It's
We
all
both
propagandistic.
watched it.
And then it sets up the dichotomy. The dichotomy is that men and women are in complete and utter contradistinction in terms of their roles. So women only exist if they are completely free of men, and men only exist if they are completely free of women. And the problem is set up for Ken, is that Ken is dependent on Barbie, right? Because Ken is kind of secondary. And we also set up at the very beginning that Barbie doesn't like Ken. She finds Ken annoying. She finds Ken ridiculous, which, again, is sort of against the concept of...
No, she actually doesn't have feelings for anyone. If you saw the movie, she said that she doesn't have feelings for him nor anyone. She doesn't pursue anyone. Ken is in love with her and pursuing her.
Ken and Barbie, independent woman, and Ken is completely superfluous. We then go to the beach, and there,
bro, Ken wants her. You know what? Barbie ain't gonna give it up.
There's a scene on the beach where the Kens are
Funny part.
supposed to be the lifeguards, and the ladies are playing on the beach, and we get a series of gay masturbation jokes. Again, there's an audience.
Oh my god. A bunch of gay masturbation jokes. Oh my god. So bad. First of all, they were like, I'm gonna can so hard. It's a play on words. You could think about masturbation if you're homophobic like this dude. Or you can think Ken is the energy that the Ken dolls give out. Except for Alan. I gotta give gay jokes a...
For children. They're talking about beaching each other off.
Again, I'm 20.
Right? There's a line.
There you go, joke right there. A pretty funny joke too. Again, I'm 22 years old and I love that movie.
Where Ken says to another one of the Kens, I'm going to beat you off. Get it? Get it? You get it? Because it's like beat you off, but beach you off. And then they repeat that no less than 4 or 5 times in the span of 45 seconds.
If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
I'll beach off with you any day, Ken.
Anyone who wants to beach him off has to beach me off first.
I will beach both of you off at the same time.
Beat both of us off.
Yeah, but what are they doing? It's conflict. They want to beach off. No, like beat you up. What?
Nobody's gonna beach anyone off.
Bazinga.
Because it's just such a great gay masturbation joke. You got to go for it. I mean, what else will the 7-year-old girls in the audience think if you don't go for the gay masturbation joke on the beach? Clearly. We get black female President Barbie because this is, of course, the greatest of all possible worlds. So Kamala Harris, the Barbie version, is the president of the United States.
Why do you have to point that out? You have a problem, Ben? Got a problem with a black woman in power? Bro, shave your eyebrows.
And then we get the break, right? Then we get the actual plot point. Plot point number 1. Barbie has irrepressible thoughts of death.
Racist. If we saw the movie, that would explain it.
It's a kid's movie. Isn't this supposed to be made for 7-year-old girls?
Again, I'm 22 years old and I saw it. My husband's 39. He saw it too.
Nope. It's about
First day it
existential
came out.
angst over mortality.
No,
That's
what
what
is
this
about?
film is about.
It's a
Now,
part.
again, interlaced.
It's showing. Oh my god. So there's a mom that's connected to her Barbie, which is Margot Robbie supposed to be played, and the mom is like losing her imagination or fun or whatever. Her she's missing it. She's missing a part of her life, and that affects Barbie in the Barbie world because that's her Barbie. I mean,
Through all of this is just
Not that
more
hard to
and more
follow.
and more politics.
I don't
Right?
think
One of the
this guy
Barbies is
saw
a
this
trans
movie.
Barbie, and this is treated totally normally, as though this is a
Oh no, this movie is horrible because there's a trans Barbie, there's a black woman in power Barbie, there's a pregnant Barbie, and they make gay jokes. Bro, have fun. Don't be transphobic, don't be homophobic, don't be racist, and don't be a complete idiot. How about that?
a female
And shave your eyebrows.
Barbie with a voice, again, deeper than my own. So Barbie
I mean, my voice is deeper than yours, I think. Bro sounds like a chipmunk. He's like freaking. Bro looks like Theodore from Alvin and the Chipmunks. Sounds like it too.
starts to have these irrepressible thoughts of death. And this comes along with physical symptoms, like, for example, her feet flatten out. Again, this is one of the few cute jokes in the movie, is that Barbie walks around, and just like a normal Barbie doll, when you take off the shoes, the feet are shaped like the shoe, like the high heel.
Yeah.
But now she is turning into like a real world person, and so her feet collapse, right? And not only about Barbie Land, but also about the real world. And apparently there's a connection between the people playing with the Barbies and the Barbies. So people playing with Barbie.
I'm so interested in what he wants to say about Weird Barbie.
About the real world. And apparently there's a connection between people playing with the Barbies and the Barbies. So if the people playing with Barbies are sad, then the Barbies also get sad. Weird that this has only happened to Barbie, because it turns out that lots of people are sad and have played with Barbies for a very long time. But that's the plot.
I mean, it's a movie. I'm like so into it. Again, coming from a failed screenwriter.
Point, fine. And again, the concept of like a Barbie that was played with too hard is very funny, because everybody has seen that before. And they somehow blow this. Somehow they make this into a not funny thing.
Bro, I thought it was funny as hell.
So Weird Barbie is ugly, and she has bad makeup and all the rest of it. And she informs Barbie she has to go to the real world, and she has to find the person who is playing with her, and she has to make that person feel better, because that will heal the problem that she's having in Barbie Land. Okay, so we have our plot point, right? We have the thing that's going to launch us off into the rest of the movie. And then it's just a complete mess from here on in. At least to this point, it's kind of dumb but coherent. From here on in, it makes no sense at all. Again, Kate McKinnon sets up the dichotomy that pretty much the makers of the film hate Barbie by suggesting that you can live in Fantasyland with Barbie and you can take the Barbie shoe, or you can take Birkenstocks, right? You can become like a Portland lesbian and you can learn about reality. That's going to be the choice that you have to make, but not before she makes a
Portland lesbian. I've never heard of that. What kind of right-wing joke, homophobic joke is that?
Joke about Ken and wanting to see the nude.
I thought my water was gonna be cold because I have this in. I have my insulated cup and I put my water in it. And it actually is still room temperature. Funny.
Blob he is packing under those pants.
That's
Ken and wanting to see the nude blob. You can learn about reality. That's going to be the choice that you have to make.
The joke,
but not before she makes a joke about Ken and wanting to see the nude blob he is packing under those pants.
That's somebody said that?
Perfect for 8-year-old girls, ladies, mothers.
Bro, they're not gonna know. If the 8-year-old girls have Barbies, they're gonna know that they don't have titties or BBs or peepees. Again, I'm 22 years old and I saw the movie.
Just be warned. Ken and Barbie head off to the real world to try to find.
I honestly don't think I saw any kids
with Barbie. And immediately upon arriving in the real world, Barbie is hit with an overwhelming tsunami of sexism. Like right away, boom! She walks in, and a bunch of men just leer at her and say, "Give us a smile, Blondie."
Yeah, if you saw an interview with the actors, Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, they both were very insecure because people were doing this in real life. So you have it in real life and interpret it in a movie. What is this deal?
Which is something that no one under the age of 70 has said to a woman in the recent past. Give us some. She walks in, And a bunch of men just leer at her and say, "Give us a smile, blondie," which is something that no one under the age of 70 has said to a woman in the recent past. Give us.
Bro, how does he know that? Is he literally every person in the world? Does he like know that for sure? Give us a smile, Blondie. I'm 22 and I said it. Oh,
Say smile, blondie. Seriously? We get Barbie explaining
say?
that all of the men
he said, "Hey,
who are leering at her and gazing at her, they have an undertone of violence. Everything's she's threatened. She's physically threatened because this is the real world. The real world is not like Barbie Land. In the real world, all women are victims. They are deep and abiding victims of the system, as we'll learn by the use of the
it's not what it says."
word patriarchy no less than 10 times in this film. She gets arrested like twice for various crimes.
Like twice, bro. She did get arrested twice. He didn't see this movie. I guarantee you, he didn't see this movie.
Even the police officers are rabid, raging sexists. The police officers are hitting on Barbie. They're making observations about her appearance. Ken, meanwhile, is getting super happy because Ken, who's been sort of an underling in Barbie Land, now he's realizing he's part of the patriarchy, and the patriarchy is awesome. Ken is loving the patriarchy. Now, you might imagine at this point that the way the film is going to go is that Ken and Barbie are going to have to some sort of agreement about seeing each other as equal human beings. You might imagine that's where it's going. Wrong. That's not where the film is going to go. You might have thought that what you were going to get was Ken gets treated with respect as a person, and Barbie gets treated with respect as a person, and that's a better. Nope, wrong. In the end,
in the movie,
not to skip ahead, Barbie Land just gets restored, and the men are still subservient. That's the best. That's the best version of the world.
No, they're not.
Okay, so Ken is walking around, and he's
no, they go back to normal after the movie's over.
really enjoying the patriarchy and all of this, and he explains that men rule this world. And he goes to Mattel, and all the members of the board are
It's because that's all he saw. He didn't see anything else.
men. By the way, I'd like to see a corporate breakdown of the Mattel board. I'll bet I can find it. Like the CEO of Mattel for 30 years was a woman, so there's that. They pretend that like Mattel is all run by men. So I just now I want to know who's on the board. Okay, chairman and CEO is a dude. The board includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It includes 5 women. So it's 6 men and 5 women. Clearly patriarchal domination. Clearly patriarchal domination. Just wanted to look that up just for the sake of, accuracy.
Or look at the Supreme Court.
Whenever I do these reviews, like, oh, you're taking the movie too seriously. The movie takes itself too seriously, guys.
It doesn't. The movie's funny.
It pretends to be a comedy, but it's taking itself super seriously. Fine.
It is a comedy.
It's all men at the top of Mattel, and they realize that Barbie and Ken have escaped Barbie Land. And this presents some sort of threat. What kind of threat? Because the writers are shitty. They don't bother explaining. They're just like, a threat. And Will Ferrell acts all weird and goofy, like Will Ferrell. And he's funny because it's Will Ferrell acting weird and goofy. But he's not funny because it's just Will Ferrell with no actual plot or dialogue to speak of.
Bro, they wanted to get her back. They said there was like a thing in the space-time continuum or something. It says they will mess up their world. It literally said it was going to mess up their world if they
being weird. We'll fill that in later. There's so many places in the script where it's basically like the writers they left a gap and they're like, we'll leave a couple asterisks, we'll fill it in later. And then later they got there and they're like, nah, we'll just skip right over it. Fine. So they figured they got to track down Barbie and Ken. And meanwhile, Barbie is trying to track down the girl who's playing with her. And she mistakenly thinks that it is a teenage girl who is playing with her and who is unhappy. And at this point, she receives a...
Give me a second.
lecture from the teenage girl about how Barbie has ruined the world and actually is fascist. How Barbie is a sexualized capitalistic emblem. How Barbie has created unattainable feminine ideals. How Barbie is ruining the planet with rampant consumerism. You get like this full lecture right in the middle of the film.
It's not
It's
true.
truly awful. It's truly awful. She's called a fascist. By the way, it only sets up the only good line of the film. Truly, in my opinion, there's one good line in the film. And that is where Barbie is trying to contemplate whether she's a fascist or not. And she says, I don't control the railways or the flow of commerce. Now, there's only one problem with that line, as with the entire movie. There is no character consistency. Barbie is supposed to be an idiot bubblehead piece of plastic from Barbie Land. How does she know what a fascist is? How does she know about the flow of commerce? Like, again, just in terms of character consistency?
I don't think they wanted her to be stupid and dumb because she's not in the movie.
Like characters who actually are the characters? Makes no sense whatsoever. So, meanwhile, Ken is wandering around, enjoying the patriarchy more and more and more.
Oh, I love that scene.
And he keeps
love that
asking
scene.
about patriarchy. And at one point, he asks a dude, about the patriarchy. And the guy says, well, that's not really the way that it works here anymore. He says, really? He says, no, it still works that way. We just hide it really well. Again, you can't even present the
Agreed.
Mild other side of the film. And this sort of nonsense continues. The second,
I mean, the movie's not lying. What?
first third of the film is about how Mattel is kind of bad for creating this fancy land. Second third of the film is about the real world evils of the patriarchy. Oh, the patriarchy. Oh, the patriarchy. Culminating in an idiotic line where one of the low-level members of Mattel is with the board, and Barbie is looking for a woman at the board. And the low-level man says, I'm a man with no power. Does that make me a woman? No, you can't parallel park. That's what makes you a woman. Okay? And in any case, we get here a few obscure jokes about Proust Barbie, because again, Noah Baumbach has to show that he wrote some of the script. He made a reference to Proust. Doesn't that make him clever? Ooh. Next, he will make a reference, I would assume, to Victor Hugo. Wow. Proust. Ooh.
Bro, this guy's...
Idiots who think they're smart.
This guy's looking way too into this movie. I don't even know what he was talking about.
It's total... Okay, then...
What the fuck?
Ooh. Idiots who think they're
Ben
smart.
Shapiros is so cringy.
Okay, then...
What?
Barbie escapes.
What was that?
Idiots who think they're smart. It's total...
Why do you have to zoom in on his face like that?
Okay, then Barbie escapes the Mattel building. They were going to package her up and they were going to send her back to Barbie Land. And she instead runs and she escapes the Mattel building. And she hooks up with America Ferrera. So America Ferrera is the actual one who's playing with Barbie as a youth. And it's her daughter who Barbie had originally approached. Twist! Okay, and she decides that in order to escape the Mattel executives, she's going to have to bring...
Because, like, writers were good, and I like this guy who was a failed screenwriter.
Both of them back to Barbie Land. Why did she bring both of them back to Barbie Land? No one knows. There's no actual... There's no explanation as to why she's supposed to bring both of them back to Barbie Land. Supposedly, it's because she needs to escape back to Barbie Land, but she could do that without the two of them. But she decides she's going to bring them back. So she brings them back to Barbie Land. Meanwhile, the Mattel executives are chasing her. Now, question, why are they chasing her? They achieved their goal. Barbie's back in Barbie Land. Why are they still chasing her?
Because they said no
knows.
humans
It
can
doesn't
go
make any
there.
sense. They literally say, there will be consequences you can't even imagine. And then they're like, what consequences? And they're like, fill in the blank. And some dude says something about a podcast with two trees. You're like, that's the laziest shitty writing. God bless it. Okay, anyway. So Ken, in the meantime, he has already headed, while she was, futzing around over at Mattel, Ken has already headed back to to Barbie Land, where he has immediately established the patriarchy. So just to point out here, the point of the film is that the matriarchy is amazing. Women are amazing at everything. Ken walks in, and within 2 seconds, he has taken over all of Barbie Land.
Bro, why did you say that with, like, such a... putty face?
And he has turned it into the Kendom within 2 seconds. So apparently the women are so unbelievably competent and brilliant and great at everything over in Barbie Land that
guy is looking way too hard into this movie. Like, have fun, you snowflake.
Idiot man walks in and takes over the whole place inside of 2 seconds. Fine. So he takes over the entire place. We later learn that's because the women, they didn't know what was coming. We later learned they didn't have immunity. And the way that they get immunity is by learning to hate the men. That's the way that they have to learn to hate the men. Okay, so Ken decides he's going to go back and he's going to establish his patriarchal system. We only learned this when
Gotta flip my book. Let everyone know that I write, even though I'm a failed screenwriter.
Barbie heads back with America Ferrera and Random Daughter. And Ken immediately starts acting like the jerks in the patriarchy, right? He calls her...
No, the daughter was being a butthead to the mom. The mom was getting depressed. Again, if you saw the movie.
Her baby. Oh, no. He calls her baby. The greatest of all insults. He calls her baby. And then America Ferrera is trying to explain to Barbie what exactly is going on. And
I have to pee. I'll be back. I'm just Finn. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. Alright, let's watch this video.
She's like, it's just like the indigenous people and smallpox. They had no immunity. Howard Zinn wrote the script. So the ladies in Barbie Land had no immunity to the magic of the patriarchy, the magic. Women were seduced into... So, just to point out here, the actual argument the movie is making is that if women...
This is like a challenge watching this video.
...enjoy men, it's because they have been brainwashed by the patriarchy. They make this message explicit in just a few minutes in the film. And when I say a few minutes, I mean several years, because this film took years off my life. It is long, it is boring, and it's terrible.
So I thought about Oppenheimer. Finny, they took years off your life, baby. Ciao.
Okay, so the Kens are about to perform... None of this makes any damn sense. Okay, the Kens are about to have a vote to change the Constitution.
Take my glasses off.
Why? Why? Ken literally just sees power. He's a fascist. What the f*** is he gonna vote for? Why are they voting?
Power.
Like, he sees power.
The president.
Also, what is the breakdown demographically of the Kens and the Barbies? Are there as many Kens as Barbies? Ooh. Because, like, he sees power. Also, what is the breakdown demographically of the Kens and the Barbies? Are there as many Kens as Barbies? Because why would they hold a vote? The Kens appear to be in a minority in Barbie Land. There are a lot more Barbies than Kens.
By the Kens.
Why even do the...
So they're gonna vote for them.
The democratic vote thing. Why not just seize the power?
Democratic vote.
Because then you wouldn't have the rest of the dumb plot of this stupid film. So they decide they're going to hold the vote. And not only are they going to hold the vote, they're going to be very fair about it. They're going to hold it in 48 hours. They're going to hold it in a couple of days to make sure that the Barbies have time to actually form a counter plan. Why would they do that? No reason. Asterisk, asterisk, we'll fill it in later. Okay, so they decide they're going to hold this dumbass vote. And the Barbies learn about this. And Barbie is very depressed because Barbie realizes that all the other Barbies have been taken in by the patriarchy, and this is extremely bad. Now, here's one place where you have a serious continuity error in the film.
It's a movie.
So, Margot Robbie,
what's a
who plays
continuity
Barbie
error?
at the beginning, half the time she plays Barbie is kind of stiff like it all, and half the time she plays Barbie is just kind of normal.
Not.
And so now she's super stiff like it all. She sits down, you know, and
she wants to be normal. I know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say when she sits on the grass and curb, she's like stiff. Bro, come on. That's not continuity error. She's a freaking doll, man. That wants to be normal.
Position like a Barbie would, and she keels over in the 90-degree position. And
they William Toon, conservatives are so joyless and unhappy. FFS. I agree with that.
It would be funny, except she hasn't been doing it the whole film. Again, the level of inconsistency. You know, she sits down, you know, in kind of 90-degree position like a Barbie would, and she keels over in the 90-degree position.
I knew it. I knew he was going to say that. That's not a continuity error. That's really good screenwriting. I'm like, from this guy who's a skilled screenwriter.
It would be funny, except she hasn't been doing it the whole film. Again, the level of inconsistency and bad
filmmaking sat down like that.
Off the chart. They needed somebody to actually sit down with them and be an adult in the room, and no one was there. So, at this point, America Ferrera and daughter decide they'd give him, and he's in the back of the car, and
Alan is a doll. That was Ken's buddy. Someone had to play him. Come on now, be so for real.
Don't know why.
Yeah, I'm confused about that.
And he serves no purpose other than to have a random fight scene, and also so that they can make a Trump building the wall reference. Right? They're apparently the Kens are going to build a wall to keep people from getting
that was funny
in or getting out. Now, here's the weird part. No one has ever entered or exited Barbie Land before. Why are you building a wall? What is the necessity for a wall? No one explains.
It's a movie.
Just a dumb Trump reference so that everybody who is friends with
Noah Baumbach
and Greta Gerwig can
got a
laugh
problem
and
with
nod.
that? Bro, if you got a problem, shave your eyebrows.
So, the daughter and the mom, they decide, no, we have to go back and we have to save Barbie Land. They're going to save Barbie Land. And who do they go to? They go to wise, weird lesbian Barbie. They go back to Kate, ask her about this. And they bring Barbie with them. And they're going to try to figure out a strategy. How do they stop the Kens from winning the vote? Now, you might say to yourself, wait, aren't the women majority? Do they not have agency, the women? They have no agency, apparently. So apparently the women have no agency.
His zoom-ins are so uncomfortable.
And they are a majority, and yet they have to be deprogrammed. They're going to be deprogrammed by weird Barbie and her crazy cadre of feminist heroes.
I love you guys.
And it's a movie.
And this is when we start getting into the real. You think it's propagandistic so far? Oh, man, wait. Here is where we get into, like, the real meat of it. Okay, so we end up with Barbie complaining. She's complaining to weird Barbie. And she says, oh my God, they've brainwashed all the other Barbies. They've brainwashed all the other Barbies. She says, quote, either you're brainwashed or you're weird and ugly. There is no in between. And Weird Barbie says, tell me about it. And this is the perspective of the film. Either you're a third wave feminist kook who hates men, like, truly hates men, or you're brainwashed.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Ken.
There's no actual relationship between men and women. There can't be any sort of fulfilling relationship between men and women. There are no decent males in the entire film. All the men are garbage. The only man who even appears mildly
stupid.
is America Ferrera's husband, who's just kind of a joke. He's there for literally 10 seconds in the film, making jokes about how he can't speak Spanish. That's his whole role in the film. Every other man is a piece of shit in the film. Everyone. And so, this is the perspective of the film. When you come right down to it,
everyone. Alan is not. That other movie, no one is.
Washed, or you are weird and ugly.
Just a little notepad.
And Barbie's like, yeah, that's what Barbie says. I mean, the only decent male is Alan, who apparently wants to wear pink and probably is supposed to be gay. I mean, I think it's supposed to be pretty clear.
Got a fucking problem with that piece of shit? Stupid, ugly, caterpillar head ass.
From the film, although really the take of the film is that all the Kens are gay. That's really the take of the film, is that it's all...
No, it's not. They show masculine energy if you've seen the movie.
homoerotic kind of stuff.
Let's beach off.
Anyone who wants to beach him off has to beach me off first.
I will beat
Bro,
both of you off at the
jokes.
same
It's
time.
a joke.
In any case,
Jokes.
filmmakers are so insecure with even their own script that they then have the narrator jet in to say, Margot Robbie might not be the best person to make this point, right? Because Barbie's saying, I don't feel beautiful anymore. And they're like, Margot Robbie. They literally jet in to say, Margot Robbie may not be the best person to make this point. Then maybe you shouldn't have written the point.
Ever hear of breaking the fourth wall? You can do that in movies, you know that. They broke the fourth wall, and it was funny. Everyone laughed during that part.
Then maybe you shouldn't write it like that. Maybe you should not be a writer. Maybe you could do that. Okay.
He said the writers of the film were shitty, but yeah, he's a failed screenplay writer.
No. Okay, this is when we get the full bore thesis of the film. And guess
Full
what, guys?
bore.
The thesis of the film.
What is the thesis of the film?
Made by women, made for women, made
I'm a man.
starring women, funded by a studio that is largely staffed by men. The take of the film is that it is impossible to be a woman in the modern age. Absolutely impossible. And so
It's not the main take of the film. This guy didn't see this movie. I know this guy didn't see this movie.
we get this long speech of America Ferrera talking about how it's so difficult to be a woman. They want us to be this way, but not that way. They want us to be thin, but they don't want us to say that we're thin. They want us to earn money, but they don't want us to earn money. They want us to do this, and they don't want us to do that. They want us to answer for men's bad behavior, but they don't want us to offend men. They want us to do this, and they don't want us... Oh my God, it's so difficult to be a woman. So the same tried, truistic bullshit that they've been propagating in every new wave feminist film for the last 45 years in the United States is now essentially telescoped into this one speech from America Ferrera, including a few cutaway shots of Margot Robbie looking up adoringly at America Ferrera as she explains that it's super hard to be a woman. It's so damn difficult to be a woman. You know why? Because of the patriarchy. Because of...
No choice. Oh. Let's look at this. Women can't even go to school. Banning feminist terms and content they see as harmful speech. Poland. Activism. Smearing them and punishing them for activism. Activism. Activision. This isn't Call of Duty. Women and girls are facing increasing restrictions to their sexual and reproductive health and rights as the Supreme Court and multiple states have moved to ban or heavily restrict access to legal abortions. I can go on and on about reading articles that just dismiss what this guy says.
Is now essentially telescoped into this one speech from America Ferrera, including a few cutaway shots of Margot Robbie looking up adoringly at America Ferrera as she explains that it's super hard to be a woman. It's
Agreed.
so damn difficult.
It's also hard to be a king. It's hard to be a lot of things because the world hates everyone besides white Christians. Hot take.
Difficult.
I think not.
You know why? Because of the patriarchy. Because of the men.
Because there
That's
is a
the actual
patriarchy.
story of the film. And then they make a couple of other dumb references. It's terrible. Okay, fine. Then they say, you know what we need to do? We need to disabuse all of these Barbies.
This dude really wrote the Zack Snyder part in his freaking notebook.
Of the patriarchy. How are we going to do this? We need to allow them to live with the cognitive dissonance required to be a woman under the patriarchy. That's a line from Barbie. Now again, they keep doing this. They keep having Barbie drop these extremely literate and well-articulated lines, but she's supposed to be a plastic doll idiot.
Authority should derive from the consent of the governed, not from the threat of force.
It doesn't matter. What is their actual strategy? So they have 48 hours to stop this vote, which shouldn't be happening in the first place because it makes no plot sense. What are they going to do to stop this vote? How are they going to do it? Well, they're going to separate the men and the women.
Barbie!
They're going to turn all the Barbies against the Kens. It's so subtle. The symbolism is so subtle. Turn all the women against the men and you will save society. That's the message that you could be shoveling directly into the brain of your
The
8-year-old
message.
girl, if you so choose.
Not the message.
Maximum volume.
So, they
Dude, this guy's an alien.
literally say this: get the Barbies away from their Kens. How are they going to achieve this? Well, they're going to make the men complacent and then take their power. This is how women have achieved power. Now, let me just digress briefly here in how women actually achieved power in Western civilization. The answer
All
is
right,
that they
history
lobbied
teacher
men
Ben
and men gave
Shapiro.
it to them. That is the
Is
actual
that
answer as
right?
to how women achieved power in Western civilization.
Is that right?
Amendment to the Constitution that allowed women to vote was passed solely by men because women couldn't vote. It turns out there are a lot of good-hearted men out there who like women and who want women to be able to live lives that they want.
I'm sure this guy doesn't want women to vote because he's on the side that makes women not choose what they do with their own bodies.
It turns out that many of us are husbands and fathers. Many of us have daughters. Many of us
Is Ben Shapiro married? God, help that woman.
love the people we're married to. It turns out that that actually describes a huge number of Western men, that we are not your enemies. And yet the entire premise of the movie is that what actually happened in the feminist movement is that women...
No, that's if. What? No, it's if. I hate
Sorry to
zoom
break it to
ins.
you, ladies,
They're
it ain't
so
true.
annoying.
It ain't true. This notion that women
It ain't true.
vote as a block is not true. Married women vote very much like their husbands, actually. Single women vote more like a block now than they did before. But it turns out that people are individuals, and some women vote one way, and some men vote another way. But again, the idea here is very
Yeah.
simplistic: men versus women, battle royale, and that's what this literally turns into—a battle royale
No, it
between
doesn't.
the women and the men. But really, it's about
No,
getting
it
the men
doesn't.
to fight each other. They bring all the Barbies one by one. They distract them. They bring the Barbies in one by one, and they unbrainwash them. How do they unbrainwash them? Well, they tell them truths like, any power you have must be masked under a giggle. I have a question. I mean, I work with a lot of women. Do they feel like the power that they have has to be masked under a giggle? Was this film written in 1943? Who wrote this film? Well, we know who wrote this film. A feminist writer who gets paid millions of dollars to make horse. One of them says, you have to reject men's...
Look at my cat. Look at my cat. Bro, look how he's sitting. His hands are on the shelf. Look how he's sitting. What the heck is this camera? Finny say, the man run the patriarchy. Destroy all man. Finny. Bro, look how he's laying. That's so cute. So cute. Alright, let's watch this. Let's watch this horseshit. Like he said.
Advances without damaging their ego. Or theoretically, you could just reject men's advances and damage their ego because what do you care? You have to pretend to be confused about money. Is this a real thing? Like, do women pretend to be confused about money so the men will explain it to them? That this is also it's such claptrap. And then my very favorite. Do you want some pants? Because that's really what this is about. Is women really want to wear pants? That demonstrates the power of the patriarchy is that men really don't want.
I don't even remember that part.
Women really want to wear pants.
When did they say that?
Nice ass cut.
Oh, either this guy had this. He had a group of people watch the movie and analyze every single word of the script, but he didn't see it. I guarantee you, he did not see that. He was dressed in black to see Oppenheimer or something. I hope he reviews Oppenheimer too, because that'd be funny.
And then it's, you know, all the men being victimized, all the Kens.
This
being
guy's voice sounds like
tactics, up to and including Ryan Gosling hitting on a trans woman, meaning a dude who has a voice deeper than Ryan Gosling's, which is an actual scene in the film.
Okay. What is wrong with that? Are you saying straight cis men aren't allowed to talk to trans people? Or what? This guy's annoying. Ryan Gosling does not have a deep voice, by the way. Ben Shapiro's voice is... I mean, no voice. It's not that deep, but it's deeper than Ben Shapiro's for sure.
Which is just great. Okay, so then, final step. Finally, the women have been disabused. So now they're going to play the ultimate prank. The ultimate prank is that they are going to turn the men against each other. How are they going to turn the men against each other? They're going to turn the men against each other.
I'm like so not into this anymore.
They're going to get together.
That's not what
Barbie's going to be with Ken, classic Barbie and classic Ken. They're going to be together, but then they're going to move on to the other Kens, and the Kens are going to start fighting each other over the ladies because
the Kens can't choose which one they want, which ones they want.
They're going to switch over. Now, not to
stop it with the zoom ins.
Not to put too fine a point on this, but this makes no sense at all.
Don't want to see a zoom in of his freaking
if a bunch of beautiful women
gumshoe ass lips
to other men simultaneously. You know what the men would do? They would throw a party. So they turn the men against each other, and then we get a 20-minute long segment of the Kens fighting each other using various implements ranging from like small bows and arrows.
The best scene of the movie, and he's making fun of it. Hi. Want to come here? Give me a second. Give me a second. I have to pee again. Okay, let's watch how the Barbie movie is left-wing propaganda, feminist propaganda.
Goes with sticky cups at the end to tennis rackets, and that turns into a musical number.
He's gonna win an Oscar for that. He's gonna win an Oscar. He's gonna win an Oscar for that. Great scene, by the way. This is what he wore at the quote-unquote showing of the movie. Ben Shapiro wore that. So if you remember, do you have a picture? Do you have a picture? There's a picture somewhere. He's dressed like that. She sees a friend.
What does any of this have to do with the plot? Nothing. Literally nothing. It is just a 15-minute digression because they wanted to insert a crappy musical number with...
Bro said crappy. Oh my god. Bro said crappy. He has 6 mil subs. How? Stupid. That's what I said. That was funny. That's funny. That's actually funny. Let's say hypothetically I was a Barbie girl, and for the sake of an argument, it was in the Barbie world. That's exactly how he would say it. No. No. One of the replies. Here we go. My theater had grown men more than any 7-year-old girls and their mom. Yeah, exactly.
Not particularly good dancing. And then what are the women
Not
doing
good
during this time? The
dancing.
women are voting.
Okay.
The women are voting. So now we know the Democratic turnout strategy. The Democratic turnout strategy in 2024 is going to be to get all of the Republicans to fight with one another using tennis rackets while they go and they do the voting, apparently.
That's not how it's going to go, but okay.
So they go and they vote. After they vote...
No, how it's going to go is that Republicans are going to be looking upset. Just like the 2020 election.
They reestablish exactly basically how it was. The matriarchy. The matriarchy is reestablished. And Ken...
Why is he showing this?
Who is now really sad.
What is the point of showing that? Besides saying their name.
Because he's lost his power. And all he wanted in the first place was just to be treated decently by Barbie. Is he treated decently at the end by Barbie? Of course he isn't. That would be silly. At the very end...
Because she's her own independent woman. Doesn't need no man.
He is told that he needs to learn to live without Barbie.
I just don't know who I am without you.
You're Ken.
But it's Barbie and Ken. There is no just Ken.
He, who was literally created as a doll to be with Barbie, he needs to learn to be apart from Barbie, and she needs to learn to be apart from him, because atomistic isolation and loneliness...
Unexpected twist! That's good screenwriting.
...is the best way to find fulfillment, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be best for Ken if he never sees Barbie again. It'll be better for Barbie if she never sees Ken again. Secular humanism is at its finest. We've reached the apotheosis. Men and women don't belong...
What does that even mean?
Apotheosis.
The highest point in the development of something. Climax, basically.
Secular humanism is at its finest. We've reached the apotheosis. Men and women don't belong together. They belong very, very much apart. This is all topped off by Issa Rae calling somebody a motherfucker. Again, perfect for your 7-year-old girl who loves Barbie dolls. Just
It's
perfect
also
for her.
censored.
And so...
Bro... Bet you damn well the parents cuss. My parents cuss. It's a thing.
we learn that men and women
Ben's literally cussing.
are supposed to be separate. They are not supposed to be together. And that maybe the matriarchy will allow the men not to be on the Supreme Court of Barbie Land, but maybe they can get some lower circuit court judgeships. This is what we learned. And we learned one day the Kens might have as much power and influence in Barbie world as women have in the real world. Because, of course, women are again, just absolutely subjugated in the real world. You think that's the end of the movie? Wrong. This thing has more endings than Lord of the Rings. So, ending number 1 is we find out that Ken is going to live apart from Barbie, and he's
It had one ending.
going to
Lord of the Rings has like 8.
find himself in being Ken. Ugh, the utter joy of self-exploration. Next, we get an ending in which the CEO of Mattel, who's been completely sidelined. You remember the CEO of Mattel? Remember he was supposed to be chasing them into Barbie Land for no apparent reason? So he's now in Barbie Land. We don't know why he's there or what he's there to do, except that we need Will Ferrell in the movie to provide no laughs. He doesn't provide any laughs. So he shows up. His motivation throughout this movie has been completely inconsistent. He started off wanting to put Barbie back in Barbie Land so that they could make money. And then he is told at one point that when Kens have taken over Kendom, they will make just as much money. He's like, no, that cannot be. I'm an ideologue on behalf of women. And then he arrives, and he is told that America Ferrera wants to make ordinary Barbie, which, by the way, would sell 0. Anyway, that will be profitable. And so now he wants to make ordinary Barbie. And sell 0. America Ferrera wants to make ordinary Barbie, which, by the way, would sell 0. Anyway.
I don't think that's true. If they made an ordinary Barbie based on America Ferrera, I think it would be pretty good.
That will be profitable.
Again, I mean, is this dude like a marketing guy? Like, who is this business guy? Who knows?
And so now he wants to make ordinary Barbie because he's back to being uber capitalist, evil capitalist. He's making money off of Barbie because, again, Mattel are the bad guys, but they're also the good guys. But they're kind of the bad guys, but they're mostly the good, but they're a little bad. And so that's ending number 2 at this point. So we have the Barbie Ken ending. We have the CEO of Mattel ending. Says, we'll make ordinary Barbie, and then girls all over the world will know
this whole thing is the ending.
Fine and okay, because it's not that girls play with Barbie because they think that she's beautiful and it's aspirational. No, it's bad. Okay, so then we have ending number 3. You think you're done? Wrong. We're now 2 hours deep into
the whole thing's the ending.
We have now dug halfway to China.
It's not 2 hours.
We're going to keep digging. So
it's like an hour and 45 minutes at this point.
Rhea Perlman shows up to lecture us all about the patriarchy again. You haven't heard it enough. We got to beat this sucker into the ground. We are going to take an axe, the blunt end of the axe. And we're just going to
get a patriarchy
to death
type thing.
It's going to beat it to death. So Rhea Perlman shows up because Barbie, it turns out, she spent too much time in the real world. That was the patriarchy and was terrible. So terrible that she wanted to stop it from happening in Barbie Land. But now she wants to go back there because she actually learned some feelings over in the real world. So she decides that after all, this whole story was just Pinocchio, that she just wants to be a real boy. And in what can only be termed a sort of bait and switch, at the very end of the film, just to please the core audience, which is moms and daughters, they insert a bunch of footage, I kid you not, like home video footage of moms and daughters playing.
It was sweet.
That's what it is. Like people living their lives in female ways. Because Rhea Perlman is going to show Barbie what it's like to be a human, and then Barbie is going to say that she really wants to be a human just like you. Just like you. And so they hit you with the nostalgia play. At the very end, the whole movie, which should have been nostalgia and about moms and daughters, instead, the entire movie is not that. The entire movie is instead about how men are evil and terrible. And also Mattel is evil and terrible.
And
then at the very end, they shove in this little nostalgia play in the hope that they can buy back the audience at the very end of the film. And Barbie decides that she is going to be a real woman now.
You know how many people cried at the end?
That's ending number 3. There's still one more. So,
which one?
When that happens...
What are you talking about? The part after that is like just a fun segment.
White area that's supposed to be...
Oh, I want to hear what he says with this part. I want to hear.
Heaven, because the person who she's talking, Rhea Perlman, is actually the person who actually created the doll. And we're supposed to be... This was supposed to be a secret. Is that Mattel was run by men, but the big secret all along is that a woman created the doll. News. It's not a secret. She was CEO of the company for 30 years. CEO of Mattel for 30 years, from like 1945 to 1975.
Okay.
Until the IRS caught her for tax evasion or something. The big reveal that the patriarchy said that it created Barbie, it didn't. No one thought the patriarchy created Barbie. Again, don't bother with the facts. Don't bother with sense. Don't bother with chronology. Don't bother with the
facts. So, don't bother with the facts. Just watch this YouTube video. That's my advice. Just kidding.
Oh. Barbie is now sent back to the real world. And she is now going to experience the apotheosis of what it means to be a human woman. So we...
Apotheosis? The climax of being a real woman? that a sexual term?
Learned early on in the movie when she goes to the real world, she's catcalled by a bunch of construction guys, and she says, "I don't have a vagina." Right? She again, amazing line for your 7-year-old girl.
That's funny.
So apparently,
You know,
when she's turned
she also said that Ken doesn't have a penis. Very funny.
into a real woman, she has now grown a vagina. So the first thing that she does is she goes to the gynecologist because, ladies, the apotheosis.
Oh, that's what the gynecologist means, bro. I thought the gynecologist was like for feet. Oh, Ben, you freaking you made me think of something. Yes, at the end of the movie, Barbie goes to see her gynecologist. I thought gynecologist was a feet doctor. But now that she has a vagina because she's a real woman, she's not Barbie anymore, that's who she's going to go see.
Your being is not motherhood. We got rid of that at the very beginning. And it's not being a wife or a partner because women are supposed to be apart from men. It is your vagina. It is that you go to the gynecologist. Ladies, this is what makes you the most human you can be. Is that you go to the gynecologist.
It's a funny part of the movie.
I could point out here.
It's a funny part of the
That's
movie.
really transphobic. That according to the same people who made this movie, not all women have vaginas. And not all people with penises are men. I could point that out right here. Because it obviously...
Bro, when does it say that in the movie? What?
According to the same people who made this movie, not all women have vaginas. And not all people with penises are men.
Wait, what's he saying?
Because it obviously
that they did say that?
Because
like there's trans.
But instead, I'm going to go with this
Barbies.
At the end of all of this,
what
they've boiled down. They have a whole conversation about identity and death and meaning.
Yes.
This whole conversation. What does it boil down to at the very end? What it boils down to at the very end, apparently, is
what
being biologically female is the only thing that matters, and that's it. Kind of. That's it. Like it all just boils down to the lady at the gynecologist. That's female power. Female power is Barbie goes to gynecologist. Which I don't know about you ladies, but that seems like that's not like the most feminist message.
Because that's not what it's saying.
The entirety of the lady. So excellent job. And with that, we end the film, and then we have the glossy credits with a Nicki Minaj song, a Nicki Minaj version of "I'm a Barbie Girl in a Barbie World." This movie started off as Barbie, and it was Weird Barbie. It was the toy that was handed off to Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig, and they played with it too hard. They decided that they were going to turn it inside out. They're going to rip off the hair.
Okay. So the script writers and Oppenheimer gave it to the directors, and they blew it up too hard, and then made it longer than expected. I could say that with Oppenheimer.
They were going to shave it. They were going to make it ugly. They were going to put all sorts of makeup
on it. This guy
has
no dreams.
And then they were going to throw it out in the public. Now, those of us who are on...
He has hurt feelings because he's hurt from a freaking Barbie movie.
On the right, we look at the politics of this movie. We're like, man, so it sounds like a double sandwich. It doesn't sound like a
double shit
a Big
sandwich.
Mac. It sounds like a double Big Mac, right? It sounds like
what? Wait, Big Macs are double Big Macs.
It sounds like a double sandwich. It doesn't sound like a Big Mac. It sounds like a double Big Mac.
Bro,
right?
Big Macs are double
crap, and characters are crap, and the humor is crap, and then on top of that, the politics are crap. But you're missing the point.
Okay.
There's a reason this film
because
91%
crap right now.
And the reason is, if you are on the left, you can make one of the world's most boring, crappy comedies. You can waste an extraordinary amount of money and talent. You can waste some of the great IP ever created. But as long as you slap it a bunch of warmed over glorious nonsense, the critics will just salivate over you. They'll pretend that this is an actual good movie.
Oh yeah.
So here's my prediction.
In terms of marketing, because it's a good movie.
The marketing campaign for this movie has been astonishingly good, right? If you walked into this movie and you knew nothing about what I just said, what would you think this movie is? You would think that this movie was probably something like the Disney movie Enchanted, but with Barbie. It's going to be Barbie in Barbie Land, and then it's going to be Barbie in the real world, and it's going to be charming, and it's going to be funny, and it's going to be warm-hearted, and it's not going to be vicious and cynical, and it's not going to be what morons talk about at Hollywood cocktail party themselves together, and then walk out with their arms around each other. You might think that's what it was going to be. And undoubtedly, millions of moms and daughters will think that.
How it is.
It's
not just moms and daughters, it's dads too.
That's why you're seeing everybody wearing
and men.
Become like a Star Wars kind of thing, right? It's an actual cosplay of it.
The fuck do you wear at Star Wars events?
Take their daughters back to the
no, dipshit.
Good luck with that.
Okay.
Really, good luck with that.
Okay,
decided to empty out its own IP. Here, they decided they were going to take a golden piece of IP and they were just going to smash it and turn it into Weird Barbie. And I got to tell you, and this is going to have some ramifications for Barbie the brand. I don't know why Barbie the brand would hand this property over to people who clearly hate the property. In the real world, the patriarchy rules. Men are really bad. Women need to separate off from men and hate men
Bro,
in
this
order
is
to be
like
unblinded to the
a
patriarchy, and then they
history
can overthrow
lesson.
the patriarchy and create paradise. That is the
Political
thesis of the film.
science
Last
lesson.
comment.
Political science, the worst class I've ever took. I fell asleep in there. Literally fell asleep in there. This is what it feels like.
Whenever I do film reviews like this, lengthy film reviews of movies
Yeah,
like this,
you don't
the
know
left side's
anything.
like, why are you taking this so seriously? How dare you take this
Why
so
are you
seriously?
taking it so seriously?
Well, because this is a movie where hundreds of millions of dollars will be expended to get people to watch it. It has a heavily political message.
Because it's a
It is
movie.
explicitly designed to divide men from women. It has these negative messages directed at
No, it
kids.
doesn't.
It's supposed to
No,
be
it
a kids
doesn't.
movie. It's rated PG-13.
It's not supposed to
It
be
is
a
not
kids
marketed to
movie.
PG-13.
PG-13, 13-year-olds.
It is marketed to moms who are going to skip
No,
the
it's
PG-13
not.
rating and bring their daughters there anyway.
No,
it's
it's
a
not.
culturally relevant moment,
What
a
the
very
fuck?
culturally
Why do you do
relevant
that?
moment. And so the entire left's attempts to play the face tattoo syndrome, watch as we take a piece of children's IP and wear its skin around like a mask, like Hannibal Lecter, and we notice it, and then they're like,
Okay.
you noticed it? You're obviously very upset. I find it upsetting when material
Be
based on
upset, you
children's IP,
crybaby.
marketed to little girls, actually ends up
Be
being
upset.
angry feminist claptrap that alienates men from women, undermines basic human values, and promotes falsehood all at the same time.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people are going to have a right to be mad.
Okay.
So we'll see what the income trajectory of this film is. By the way, it's just going to die in China. The overseas market for this film, good luck with the Chinese Communist government putting their kids in front of this sort of stuff. It is not going to happen. Final rating. Out of 10 Barbies, how many Barbies? 10 out of 10 being
He's
good.
going to give it 0.
The answer is negative all the Barbies. Negative all of them. I honestly, just as a piece of film, this sucker goes in like my bottom 10 ever. Ever. It is that
Because
bad.
you're a piece
Not
of
just because of
shit.
the politics, because the plot makes no sense, because the writing makes no sense.
It does make sense.
Because the acting, half the time, makes no sense.
That,
The entire
it
film
makes
is
sense.
a dog's vomit. It is a
No,
dog's
it's
breakfast
not.
of film. So, yeah.
Bro,
I'm
it's
gonna go with negative
91% on
infinity
Rotten
Barbies.
Tomato.
It is that bad. If 10 out of 10 Barbies is like the stereotypical Barbie, this is Barbie head atop the robot body made by the weird kid from Toy Story 1.
Is that Ben Shapiro?
That's what this is. And also, by the way, Oppenheimer's good.
You're fucking dumb, bro. Oppenheimer's not good. Okay, we're going to dislike that. Only 67,000 people like that. Okay. Anyways. So, what do I give? How many Ben Shapiros do I give out of Ben Shapiros can I give to this Ben Shapiro video? I want to give it about negative 400,000 because he's stupid and he doesn't make sense. So, Oppenheimer was a shit movie. I'm not gonna lie. Never gonna see it again. Wanting to go to sleep. Barbie, I'm gonna own that shit. I got a fucking jacket of Barbie. Anyways, that has been today's live stream. I hope everyone has enjoyed it. If you're watching it on YouTube, I mean, you're watching it on YouTube. What the fuck am I saying? Anyways, bye guys. Have a great night. Maybe I'll go live again next week. So, adios. Video out Friday. Watch it. It's about Florida.